The first player that you named, obviously, is special. His jersey's up here. Special to me, special to you. You've had a chance to coach, Coby White, who played at Carolina for a year and then went on to get drafted 7th by the Chicago Bulls and is doing really well. What was it like coaching him during the early years? And walk us through draft night and how that played out for you emotionally, seeing one of your players reach that level.
Well, I say this all the time about Coby. I mean, one, the type of person he is. That's why, he's just the total package, his wonderful family.
Right.
That's why I'm his biggest fan now. He's just everything you look for if you want to say a pro, a good he's got it. But
right.
When he was younger, so people don't know the story with Coby. His brother, Will,
right,
and Darren Cahill were best friends.
Right.
Will thought about coming to Greenfield, but Will also played football.
Right.
So anyway, I remember when Coby as an 8th grader contacted the school. I didn't know who Coby was then.
Right.
Obviously as an 8th grader, Coby wasn't Coby at the time, But I went and watched him play, and I'm like, this kid could be pretty good,
Right.
Oh, well, his freshman year, I think he didn't start the very first game of the year. I think I always joke with Isaiah White.
Yeah.
Was probably the last person, to start over Coby,
right.
until NBA. But then Coby just was the hardest, and you can attest to this because you trained him. He was the hardest working kid I've ever seen.
For sure.
We've had hard workers. There's hard workers, but then there's another level. And he is next level. He was unbelievable. And I personally think he's one of the best players to ever play in the state of North Carolina.
For sure.
He broke the scoring record. But that's not the legacy he left. As I tell everybody, the legacy he left is how hard he worked. And how every day, that's a pro work ethic from day one. But his freshman year when we played Harry Giles at Wesleyan, he had like 25 and 11 that game as a freshman against the number 1 player in the country.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I knew he had a chance to be good. And, Coby's heard me tell the story, and he remembers. I remember we were at the end of the gym, and like I said, Coby worked hard, but I said, Coby, you could be one of the best things that come out of this air in a long time, but you got to work harder.
Right.
And this was like the fall of his freshman year.
Right.
And then he went to another level.
Yeah.
And he never had a bad practice or effort.
Yeah.
He never was lazy.
Right.
There was times I had to go in practice just to say, I'm going to get on him.
Right.
To keep the team know I'll get on Coby, but it wasn't he did anything wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he never got mad. He took it in. But the stuff he did in high school, man.
It was crazy.
It was unbelievable, the stuff he
did.
Yeah, you would think Coby had an okay game, And you look, he'd have like 38 and 9, just.
And it was, and I was on that staff with you at that time. And it was just amazing to watch. And like some games, I felt like when I was working with him, I was trying to, he's very talented. So like when you're training talented and working with talented players like that, you don't really have to you're just giving him nuances of the game, you know what I mean? And sharpening stuff because he gets it and it comes natural.
Yep.
So, small things that we were trying to work on during the game and it'll be like, okay, you saw that guy in the corner, but he wouldn't pass it because he can make the shot over two people. And it's just like, sometimes, and then like at the end of the game, I remember us looking at each other like, all right, just go. And that dude would go and score like 15 straight with nothing.
And the thing about Coby is he hated to lose, so he had to do that for us to have a chance.
100%.
We had a talent. That team of his is one of the most talented. You had him and Elijah.
Yeah.
But the other 3 were freshmen.
Yeah, they were young then.
They were talented freshmen.
They weren't developed.
But they were still freshmen.
Yeah, John, Trey, they were.
Bryson, Jakari, but they were still young.
Right.
So Coby had to score like that.
Right.
With the schedule we were playing for us to have a chance.
Yeah.
And but he always, just he was so far ahead with his mid range.
Right.
He was so strong. His ability just to make crazy shots at the rim. There's sometimes I look at you during the game. I was like, did you just see that?
Yeah, it was crazy. But again, it was a test to his work.
Every
Like
day.
it will be times, and I tell this story all the time to my guys who think that they work hard, but they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid. I mean, off season during the season, if he didn't shoot it well, you know, or if he shot it well on Sunday, everybody's resting. Hey,
I'll never tell
500 shots, and I'm like, we had to tell him like, hey,
Take a day off.
like take a day off, ice, recover. Nah, he had his mindset on what he wanted to do.
And he did. He had a goal, and I mean, and his 500 shots is not like, hey, I'm just going
Yeah, 100%.
Coach, I want to shoot. I was like, you sure? So we get it's game shots.
Game shots.
It's a different level. I
Yeah.
mean, and he's not taking 500 shots. He's making 500
Right,
shots.
right.
I mean, and he loves the grind. Even now, like he loves the off-season grind. And that's why you're seeing him improve so much.
100%.
But the motivation he had, and I think Coby, nobody knew who Coby was, right? You know, coming out of, sometimes you see some of these young talents, you know, that were good when they were freshmen.
Right.
One thing I love about Coby, he didn't care about any of that stuff.
No, he didn't.
He didn't care about the rankings. He didn't care about, you know, and he just wanted to get better.
Just wanted
you
to
know,
move and get better.
And that's why, you know, I'm his biggest fan now to watch him, and he's still, it's still to grow.
Still
he's going to
amazing.
be an all-star. So
Talk about the draft night experience. With you sitting down there on the table, man. That
was something.
that's got to be a surreal experience.
It was, you know. I mean, as a basketball fanatic, I don't think I've missed a draft since I was like on TV. You know, since I was like 5. You know what I mean? But to have a chance to go, and I'm so thankful that they allowed me to go. You know what I mean? It was phenomenal. I mean, it was just the environment. The you know, you see the green room, you see it on the floor, but all the stuff that went in there, I was kind of like eyes wide open. You know what I mean? It brought a lot of,
because it's not an opportunity that, I mean,
no.
you may not never see that opportunity again.
I do
to be honest with you.
I mean, it's hard, and it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and it was great to be able to enjoy that moment with his family. It was.